Alright everybody, welcome back to another match preview on the channel. This one is for Sunderland versus Coventry at the Stadium Allied 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. But before I get on with the rest of the video, you know what I'm going to say, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you're brand new, it costs you nought. Now then, Preston, do you know what, we were shocking last night. And now this has happened in the last two games away. We're just standing off far too much. What happened to the high press? What happened to the going for teams and getting at them and trying to get that early goal and keeping that high intensity really early doors? We're just standing off. And I first noticed it against Hull, and now it's continued. I didn't know if they're just digging it for away games, but that could be potentially crucial points dropped. When no disrespect, you've got to be beating the likes of QPR and Preston if you want an automatic promotion, basically. Them teams are struggling down the bottom half of the table, and we're at the top of the league on merit, so we should be beating teams like this. But last night, we didn't deserve it at all. We were shocking. I'm happy that we came away with a point, which is the only silver lining out of that one. And like I said, another clean sheet, 7 unbeaten. It could be crucial come the back end of the season, because the season's not won in November. It really isn't. These points could be vital, especially the clean sheets with goal difference come the back end. But like I said, on the flip of the coin, there also could be points dropped. Them points could cost us the back end of the season. Now, the performance, it was terrible. We were constantly conceding possession. We couldn't keep hold of the ball for 2 minutes. We were sitting off far too much for my liking. And I did feel sorry for Connolly up top, who had a beautiful chance on 34 minutes when the ball got flashed across and the keeper made a really good save. Like I said, defensively, we were alright, we were good defensively. Like, they only had 2 shots on target, and one of them, Moore made an outstanding save, although his distribution wasn't the best all game, let's be honest, and the game before. But his shot stopping was decent, and he pulled off a good save to keep it 0-0. But I felt sorry for Connolly. He was isolated up top, coming up against 3 at the back. He just wasn't getting the sniff of a dog off anything. The balls were going long to him. He's 5'9". There was nowhere where he was winning the headers. They were just getting cleared constantly. I thought Isidore was wasted out on the wing. It's clear to say that he is our striker, and that's the way it should be. And to be honest, he should be starting as our striker. And maybe if things aren't going out our way, we're just one up top, can't change it in game. Stick Connolly up top with him. Maybe just drop him just off. And I think we'll see much better out of Connolly working in a 2. Like Isidore, was out wide. When Isidore was out wide, there was no connections with Serkin on the left. Serkin normally bombs on and overlaps, and there's little 1-2s. There was nothing on that side. Now, that's the first time we've seen Isidore start out on the wing for a full 90. Well, as long as he was on before he got subbed, and it just wasn't there. He had one good chance, and he hit the side netting. Other than that, it was just a wasted him being out on that wing. Now, Watson, I thought he looked bright. I thought he did okay. At times, there was some good link-up play with him and Hume on the right-hand side, and with Chris Rigg as well. But you've got to take into consideration that's his first start. He's very young, and also he predominantly plays on the left. All throughout the academy, he's been played on the left. Now he got put out on the right, but he still did all right. I thought he did well, and it looks good for him going forward. But when Roberts came on, it was a different kettle of fish. You can see why Roberts is one of our best players. The way he travels with the ball, he just brings the ball further up the pitch. And at times in that game, it was needed. To be honest, it really was. I thought Reggie, for the first time, got it wrong by starting that front 3, in my opinion. Now, he hasn't really used squad rotation much this season. So I was very surprised before the game when I seen a full new front 3. Well, apart from Isidore being put out on the left. So, like I say, it was potentially points dropped, but the way we played, we were shocking. So I was grateful that we came away with a point in the end. Now, the QPR game, I honestly thought it was a very similar situation. Now, when Job got sent off, we just sat back and hoped we got that point from that game. But even in that game, we weren't going for it. There was no high press. Now, we need to bring the high press back against Coventry, because if we didn't, it's going to be a long afternoon. They've got a deadly striker as well up front. Now, that's something Preston lacked. Their striker bit a man, and he got an 8-game ban, which I forgot to mention in the preview. And if he was on the pitch, it could have been a different kettle of fish. In the midfield, I thought Brown was shot and he gave the ball away numerous times. He was just miles off it. Similar with Dan Neil, he did as well. And now I didn't like Dan Neil dropping so deep. I've noticed a few times in game, he drops deep and Hume cuts in. Now, I remember Roy Keane saying recently on a podcast, when he's seen that and he was on the pitch, he used to tell him to move. Because he said, let the midfielders do their job and let the defence do their job. Which I find it's wasted letting Hume come in because he is probably one of the best in the league at getting down the wing, whipping balls in, or link up play with the wingers and even the midfielder coming across. We see the best out of Hume doing that. So when he's coming inside, it does irritate us at me, but that's just clear instruction in it, in-game instruction. Now, I do know Hume, when he cut in against Oxford at the stadium, like, we crossed the ball in, Job headed it in and was scored. But I still prefer him to stick out wide. Also, it was clear to say that we missed Joe Bellingham. Now, Joe Bellingham has been amazing for us this season. He's like a Rolls Royce. He's big, he's physical, he's getting goals now, obviously against Oxford. And we're really missed him. I love the way Bellingham holds the ball up. He waits for the man to come in and he just spins them and he gets away. And we really did miss him in the middle of the park against Preston. I forgot to mention, in the Preston game, Lindsay and Whiteman could have easily been sent off. The ref bottled it on occasions. They thought that when Sam Greenwood got took down, that Meppen was the last man and he could have got a red. But swings and roundabouts, Lindsay should have been sent off and should have Whiteman, because there was two occasions Whiteman fouled Watson and didn't get the second yellow. It took him a long time to even get the first. And there was times where on the Isidore chance where he was going to get into the box and he got took down, he didn't get a yellow card for it. They gave Sunderland a yellow card for exactly the same foul on Greenwood. So it swings and roundabouts, but the performance just wasn't there at all. Now against Coventry, we're going to have to change our approach to games. I know it's different when we're at home. We do tend to get at teams at home rather than away, but we're going to have to do it on, never mind just at home, away as well, because there could be potentially points dropped. But moving on to Coventry, they've just sacked their manager, Mark Robbins, and I'm very, very, very surprised. You look what they've done with him last season. I remember a lad who always comments, a Coventry fan, and he said the cream always rises to the top, and it doesn't look like it's happening now. And I think they've honestly jumped the gun sacking him, because Coventry last season started slow, they built up momentum, and they ended up getting there in the end. Look at the game against Man United in the Cup. How things have changed drastically for them, it's mental. But I still think they've jumped the gun. They've got an absolute deadly striker in right up front. 6 goals, 1 assist, but he's a proper striker. And now he's going to be a threat we'll have to keep an eye on. I know Ellis Sims was injured for the last 2 games, but any Coventry fans watching, is he going to be fit for Saturday? Because we all know what Ellis Sims is about. And also they've got Jack Medini. He's got 1 goal, 3 assists. Well, I keep an eye on him. He's a bit of a playmaker, makes things happen. Now, Coventry, it's going to be a very hard game. We haven't beat them since 2007. 2007 in the Championship, last time we were there. The last game, they battered us 3-0. The game before that, we drew. The game before that, they beat us 2-0. Now, I remember the time at the Stadium of Light, it was 5-4. That was a really good, entertaining game, although we lost. There was disturbances in the away end. Now, there's no love lost between us and them. But could this managerial bounce, so to speak, happen at a really good time for them? Could they now come to the Stadium of Light after sacking the manager and put in a good performance? Now, that's just our luck that they've sacked him just before they come to Sol. In the last games, they got beat, and I think that's what made him get the sack. He got beat against Derby 2-1, and then Derby were 2-0 up at one point. But the game before that, had some good performances. This is why I cannot understand the sacking. They beat Borough 3-0, they beat Luton 3-1, they drew with QPR away, but they did get beat 1-0 off Preston away. But I still think they've jumped the gun. Like, it's very early on in the season. Now, a lot of people are saying that Sunderland, like supporters even, I wouldn't say so much pundits, but supporters are saying Sunderland's not going to last. They'll not be there at the end of the season. They will drop away eventually. And it's the same situation with teams nearer down the bottom. The 17th, they've got 15 points. They've scored 18 and conceded 19. It's not as if they're like rock bottom. I still think that they can you know, they start slow and build the momentum and then be thereabouts like they did last season. I still think there's plenty of time for that. Now then, Sunderland, I think we definitely need to bring that high intensity, high press back. Team since Sheffield Wednesday, we haven't really went out and battered a team. We're winning by the odd goal, or we've kept 2 clean sheets, 2 nil-nils. We need to start getting some good goals again. And I think that's what we need to be looking at come against Coventry. Now, we could go out there and punish Coventry on Saturday. I didn't know the ins and outs of it. I didn't know if the players will not wanted this something to happen. The fans seem in the comment section like as if they're surprised and they're saying that's us finished, etc., etc. So it could be a good time to play them, or it also could be a bad time. But for me, we need to bring that, like I said, the high intensity press back. I wouldn't mind seeing Alexic in the midfield. I really wouldn't. I thought Brown and Neil could easily be dropped for this game the way they've been playing recently. Now the front three have got to be Isidore, Mundle and Roberts. If you're going to bring Connolly into the fold, you've got to play him just off Isidore, because I think that's where I would see him at his best. But that's what I would probably go with the front three. The defence stays the same. It picks itself. You know, we're unbeaten in 7. We've kept, I think, 5 clean sheets. Correct us if I'm wrong. I haven't really checked that, but we've kept X amount of clean sheets. So the defence is not the problem. It's the midfield and the creativity. That's where we're struggling at the minute. There's that little spark missing. There's no high tempo anymore. There's no urgency to get after the game and win that ball and get the goal. So if we bring that back, then I've no problems that we can win against any team. But before I got into my score predictions, like I say, the performance hasn't been there in the past couple of games. We've sat off too much. We've given teams too much respect, in my opinion. I think the worry of dropping points away from home is starting to creep into our style of play now, and we're starting to sit off far too much. We've noticed it from probably Hull. The Luton game, Luton didn't give us time to get into our game and settle down to our style. They kicked us all out. But where Hull was sat off, give them too much respect. Same with QPR, same with Preston, and that needs to change. If we change and we're going back to the way we used to play, I think it's going to be 2-0 Sunderland. And that's my score prediction. Let us know your score prediction in the comment section below. And what do you think needs to change? Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.